Greetings, electronics enthusiasts. Welcome back to another episode of Kool Electronics Guy, where the electronics are always cool and the guy, well, he's always sipping on a beer. Welcome back, everyone. It's so great to be here with all of you. It's been about 2 months since our last video, but that's only because we've been working hard on planning, shooting, and editing this one. But before we get started, I know what you really want to see. The beer of the day. Today's beer of the day is absolutely amazing. It comes from Boulevard Brewing Company in Kansas City, Missouri. We've showcased other beers from this brewery in the past. That's because they're so awesome. This one weighs in at a hefty 13.5 alcohol by volume, and it's called Churro Grande. I really think you're going to love this sweet, smooth, and creamy, delicious beer. It's really a dessert beer. I mean, it starts right out with sweet, really cinnamony fried dough flavor, just like the dessert it's named after. Then the beautiful bourbon notes kick right in, which, you know, you'd expect from a beer with that amount of alcohol, 13.5%. But this one's definitely a sipper. You know, that's so hard to do and it tastes so damn good. But please look for this limited edition. It's a limited edition. Look for this beer. You won't be disappointed. And if you do get it, and you do try it, let us know what you think in the comments below. I know you're going to love it. Today's project. So now that we have a beer in hand, we're going to start the project. But here's a little backstory first. As many of you may already know, I'm the assistant scoutmaster in my local Boy Scout troop. Our troop has several fundraisers throughout the year to support our troop financially. But our big money maker for us is recycling soda cans and beer cans. We have a trailer from a tractor trailer, like the back of it, that we have set up as a little bottle sorting center. People in our community, they'll drop off the refundable cans to us, and the troop takes turns every couple of weeks sorting them. Every few months, our whole troop gets together, and then we'll take all the bottles down to our local redemption center, and we'll get cash, which, you know, that helps support our troop in a lot of different ways. So here's where today's project comes in. For years, the Redemption Center has always took the time to count our bottles and cans, but we feel we'd like to take part of that over and count them for ourselves. So today, we're going to build a bottle counter so that we'll be able to use to get an accurate count of our bottle returns. But wait, there's more. We're also building a device that our counter will mount to, so we can just drop bottles and cans in and get a reading every time. Eventually, we're going to build like 6 of these, because we have like 6 different containers to sort out the different kinds of bottles, like 2-liter bottles or cans of soda or cans of beer, water bottles. So we have, you know, different containers for each one. So we're going to build 6 of these. So let's jump right in. Here's the components we're going to use in the project. We're going to use 3 integrated circuit counters. We're using the TI, Texas Instrument. It's a CD4026BE. And you can see this all listed on your screen. Another TI chip we're going to use, our integrated circuit timer, the NE555P, you know, 555 timer, clock, I mean. We're going to use a Sharp PC817 photocoupler. We'll be using 3 1 kilo ohm resistors, 1 10 k ohm resistor, 1 33 k ohm resistor, a yellow LED, 1 10 microfarad capacitor, and a 0.1 microfarad capacitor, 2 tactical switches, let's call them tact switches, 1 laser module, a photoresistor, of course our printed circuit board to mount it all on, and tie it all together, We're going to use a female micro USB. I'm going to put it on there, but I'm not quite sure yet if I'm going to use it or not. I was going to use it like for a power supply, but I think this is going to be portable, so I might just, you know, use AAA batteries. And if I go that route, I'll be using 6 AAA batteries. We got a 5-pin header and the battery holders for the AAA batteries that will integrate into the project. That's like all the electronic part of it. And then to actually like make the components that'll physically receive the bottles, we're going to use a 6-inch PVC coupler and a couple of pieces of angle iron to mount it. We're going to mount it on the wall, mount these on the wall of our bottle trailer right above the bottle containers. You can just drop them right in and they'll fall in. And you'll see this actually being in use at the end of the video in our bottle trailer. So let's get started. All right, we're going to get started, and we're going to solder our resistors onto the board. But first, I'm going to test the resistance with our voltmeter. There's our 1K, I'm sorry, 1K. And this one, 10K. And we need a 33. 33. And again, if you don't know how to test your resistors, you can set your multimeter, I don't know if you can see it not in this picture, for the ohms setting, and then it doesn't matter which end you put your probes on, then you just read the meter and it tells you. That one says 32.37, but there's always a variance, so that's our 33 K ohm resistor. And like I said in other videos, I always test them, make sure I got the right ones. I don't have any problems down the road. So we're going to solder these on. Let's turn our solder iron on. Take this tape off that they put on. We've got 3 of them here. These are the 1K. Oops. Look at my clumsy sausage fingers here. Let's get these in. Hope you can see what I'm doing. There's one. When I put it in, I got it in, it comes out the back. Then I'll take and I kind of bend them out a little bit before I solder them so they don't fall out when I solder them. So I'm going to put these 3 in, tin my iron. Oops, not even up to temperature. There we go. I usually solder at 700 degrees Fahrenheit, of course. And then we're just going to go in here and just zap these. We got our resistors on there, and now I'm just going to snip off these ends. My little, it's kind of sloppy. There. All right, now we need our 33K resistor. We'll put that on there. There we go. So I was gonna not work on this tonight. We're getting like these crazy thunderstorms. It's been like 90 degrees the past 3 days, which I'm not complaining about. It's better than snow. But yeah, it's been super hot, and then it's gonna cool down like the next couple of days. And So we're going to get these thunderstorms. And they've been passing through the area. We're getting lots of thunder and lightning, and I didn't know if I wanted to do anything with electronics in the middle of a storm, but it seems to be tapering off a little bit. So we'll get some work done in between this one and the next storm. Let's see, that's good. Let's trim that. There we go. This weekend, my Boy Scout troop is working on the aviation merit badge, which is pretty cool, because I don't know a lot of Boy Scout troops in my area that have ever done it. And we're fortunate enough to have a local youth flying club allow the kids in our troop to go up in their planes for those requirements for the merit badge. So we're actually going to be going to a pancake breakfast they're having on Sunday, which is awesome. And then they're going to take the kids in their troop who are doing the merit badge up in their airplanes to meet that requirement. And I guess the kids, like some kids, are probably don't want to go on the plane because they might be nervous. But those kids can go through the whole plane on the ground. They're like smaller airplanes. It's not like a commercial airliner. It's a small private airport we're going to, which is like just a few minutes from my house. So we're pretty fortunate to do that. It's going to be pretty cool. Some of the kids never flown before, and it'd be a great experience. And they get a pancake breakfast, and they get the aviation merit badge. So we're all excited about that. And then in a few more weeks, we'll actually finish the merit badge. We're going to go to there used to be a military base. It's not a military base anymore, but it's got an airport on it. And we're going to go in the control tower, which is going to be pretty cool. And we'll meet all the requirements for the merit badge. So that's pretty exciting. Pretty cool stuff for kids to learn. But anyways, back to electronics. There, we have our resistors on there. It looks good. Let's see, what do we want to put on first? When I solder, I try to put stuff in that's like low and close to the board, and I'm working my way out, so I'm not like in my own way. Got these IC integrated circuit holders here. They're going to be for our chips. I think I'm going to do these next. Let me see. Let me get a piece of something to set this on. So I'll put that, I don't know if you can see my hand in the way. Put that there, and I'm probably gonna bend 2 pins down, one in each corner. I don't know if you can see that, my little square. And I'm gonna bend this one down like that. And see, now it'll hold it in place. See? I just bend the 2 corners down, and then I can solder it. Solder this down. I'm going to do all 3 of them. You probably don't want to sit and watch me do all 3 of them, but that is what editing is for. Yeah, I should have mentioned to you that these are keyed a certain way. There's a little notch in these. I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not, but there's a little notch, and when you put the circuit in, the integrated circuit, there's a little notch on that too. So, well, I'm gonna keep on going on this, and through the magic of editing, we'll speed things up for you. And as you can see, I started to put my holders on for the integrated circuits. Got my 0.1 microfarad capacitor on there, our LED, and our 10 microfarad capacitor. I also went ahead and soldered on our 2 tact switches, one to reset and one for count. I did put the micro USB, I put a header on there, and soldered it on, and put this micro USB connector on there, but like I said, I'm probably not going to use it, but it's there if I do decide to. I'll figure it out later. Right now I'm putting on the the numbers for the counter. So just gonna line those up. That's tricky getting on there. Gotta get it just right. Putting those on there, make sure that the decimal point is on the bottom. You don't want to put them upside down. And then we got them through, and we're gonna solder them on. What a surprise! All right, so I just want to switch gears for a minute here and get away from the electronics part of it. To make this bottle counter, we're going to use a 6-inch PVC coupler. This is going to get mounted on this angle iron, and then another piece of angle iron is going to go on the wall of our bottle trailer, and I'll be able to just attach it with some screws, some nuts and bolts. The actual counting device is going to mount on one side. I'm going to make a box to enclose it with an opening on it so you can see the display and push the reset button and stuff. That'll be mounted on the side, and the photo resistor will come off the board, and I'll drill a little hole through here, and it'll be right in the hole here. And then on the opposite side, I'm going to make a little enclosure for the laser module, which will be lined right up directly across from the photoresistor. And they'll each have their own battery packs for power sources. And the beam will run right across, and every time we drop a bottle through, it'll break that laser beam, the connection from the laser module to the photoresistor, and every time it does that, the counter will count 1. Alright, so as you can see, I took 2 pieces of angle iron. I cut it from this long piece of stock. I cut 2 pieces, and I bolted them together, one going this way, one going this way, and they meet here. And you can see the screws I put in there. They're bolts. The bolts I put in there, the nuts, use some washers. Then I drilled 2 holes inside the 6-inch PVC coupler, and I used the same size bolts and washers and bolted that on so it's secure. Now this will mount on the wall of our bottle trailer, and it'll be over the top of one of the barrels that we drop the cans into. So the cans will drop through here and come out, cross the laser beam once we mount that electronic hardware on there, and it'll count our bottles. So my next step is going to be building some kind of a housing to encase the laser module and encase the counter, one on each side, and the battery packs go below it. These are the battery packs that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use 2 of these. They're weather tight. They got gaskets in them. They got 3 AAA batteries in them. There's a power switch on them to turn them on and off. And they're going to be mounted on either side, and one on this side. And they'll each have their own separate switches. One to power the counter, one to power the laser. And these wires will go into the box that I'm going to make to house the laser. And same on this side for the counter. And now we've got our front power supply on for our counter. Got that mounted on there, and those wires go to the board for the counter. And on the back here we have our power supply for our laser module, which is going to get mounted on the back here. And you see this little power switch here. Power switch on both power supplies. So our next step is to finish up on the enclosures that I'm making for the laser module and for the counter. Once we get those finished, we'll mount those on here, right above the power supply on that side for the counter, and the laser module will mount right in the back. We'll drill a hole through so the laser can shoot across. We'll have a hole drilled here for the photoresistor to poke through off of the board. Now I'm just going to solder the positive and negative wires from the power supply to the laser module. You can see I made a little plastic covering to protect the laser module. I'm using my handy dandy tweezers to hold that wire in there while I solder it. I swear you gotta get yourselves a nice set of tweezers because they come in so handy when you're doing electronics work, especially when you have big clumsy hands like mine. Alright, we got our counter all assembled, the lasers lined up with the photoresistor. One, we're going to drop our bottles in here. Two, and they'll cut the laser. 3, 4, 5, and so on, and so forth. So there you have it. We now have a functioning bottle counter. We hope you enjoyed this project and that it gives you ideas for your electronics projects. If you want to see more cool electronic guy videos in the future, just click subscribe and ring the bell. That wraps it up for this episode of Cool Electronics Guy, so crack open a good beer and make some cool electronics. See you next time. Have a good one.